New York State of Time, 25 summers, prison guard gets poisoned. According to BuffaloNews.com, it says an inmate was charged with aggravated assault after he allegedly spiked the state prison guard's iced tea with floor stripper. Can you tell me about this? When and where did it happen?
Yeah, 1997, Cape Vincent Correctional Facility.
Were you charged with spiking the state prison guard's iced tea? Were you charged with that?
Yes, I was allegedly charged with assaulting a correction officer by spiking the tea, yeah.
It says when it happened, you were serving a 3.5 to 7 year sentence for attempted armed robbery. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, Great Meadows, Comstock Correctional Facility, 1995. I have received a additional sentence for a robbery that occurred in the facility.
Who was robbed in the facility?
This is one of these guys that was bringing in drugs for known guys that we had problems with. So he had infiltrated us and started working with the enemy. So at the time, he was bringing in things. He was day mule, and he was bringing in contraband and drugs and stuff. And I had the corridor porter. And from there, man, I robbed him, took all his stuff. And I had the possession of it, man. And by the time he got to the end of the tunnel, he screamed for the police, and the police came. They apprehended me with all his personal property.
The news story on BuffaloNews.com says the iced tea was in a refrigerator, and you spiked it. Did inmates have access to the guards' refrigerators?
Yes, all the porters in the house that perform jobs daily around the dorm area have access to the officers' quarters, yes.
Where were you at when you found out that the guard got poisoned?
I was in masonry shop class at the time whenever the guard was allegedly poisoned.
And how did you find out about it, that someone was actually poisoned?
The news when the story broke over the facility, and the facility immediately went into lockdown. And from there, all the inmates was escorted back to their dorm and housing areas, where we seen all the EMS and hospital people coming and rushing into the dorm and rushing the officer out on a gurney.
What were you charged with for the guard getting poisoned?
Assault in the second degree.
So that was a street charge while you were already incarcerated, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
It says in the news article that you pled innocent. Why did you plead innocent?
I pled innocent because to this day still I'm 100% innocent of the charge.
So did you ultimately end up pleading guilty?
Yes, I ultimately changed my plea to guilty.
Can you tell us why? Why did you change your plea to guilty if you were innocent?
Okay, I was innocent, but then when faced with the situation that I am in the facility already incarcerated and then receiving additional charges, I was given a very minimum due process. I was given a lack of assistance from a counsel, and I was told that if I was found guilty of this charge, I would receive 25 years of life and never return back to society.
So did they ever find out who poisoned the guard without saying any names?
They knew, they found out who did it and everything, but it was too late. They already had a scapegoat. They already had a person who pled guilty to the charge, which was me.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the guard? Who was it? Male, female?
Yeah, it was a male guard, named Earl Graves, male guard, and he had a real bad track record with the prisoners in the facility at the time. He used to burn, which means make you delay your visit. Your people visit 7-8 hours away from New York City, and he wouldn't call you to 2-3 hours later. So he wasn't really a fan favorite dealing with the prisoners and on the compound.
So what was the final outcome of the guard getting poisoned?
The final outcome of the guard being poisoned was me changing my plea for fear of losing the rest of my life incarcerated to receive an additional 2.5 to 7 years in prison.
Were there any other incidents on that facility where guards were poisoned, assaulted, or anything like that while you were at Cape Vincent?
No, there was no other incidents well, I stayed my short time because after the incident and everything occurred, I was removed from that facility very swiftly within a matter of days.
And where were you taken to?
I was taken from that facility and sent to Clinton Correctional Facility, SHU, Special Housing Unit.
And how long were you there as a result of the guard getting poisoned?
2 years in SHU.
And that was your sentence for the guard getting poisoned, for you pleading guilty to
No,
it?
that was the prison sentence for the guard being poisoned. The indictment is totally different from being in the prison, which means I actually beat the charge on the prison level by way of appeal, but still was indicted because they took out the charges, which made it a criminal act. Criminal act and being incarcerated are two separate acts.